So I was asked about Fatima, and I've made many videos on it, but here's another one. Um, Fatima is one that I don't know if like is the correct word, but is one that I actually, against what I've been told, I actually do um, revere that, and there's something in me that believes that because we had what 60,000 people in the rain. That included in Spain, or no, sorry, Portugal was extremely atheistic at this time, very anti-Catholic, and the crowd was full of communists and leftist anarchists that hated the church, hated God, as well as the new secularists, these Freemason jerks that you know the oh science is the only thing type of people. And many of their newspapers the next day reported, yes, the Virgin Mary appeared in in the sky or in the sun, and everybody in the crowd described the sun detaching from its orbit, swinging around, shooting off every color in the rainbow, and then looking like it was going to fall to Earth to the point where men and women were screaming in the crowd because they thought the sun was going to crash into the Earth. And then it went back to its original position, and everyone's clothes would dry, even though it had been raining for hours beforehand. So what the hell was that? The problem is the mysteries, because the Orthodox Church does not like ideas of mysteries, right? That the mysteries weren't dealt with the way that Our Lady Theotokos and Ever Virgin Mary commanded them to be dealt with. I think it was like 1961 at the latest. They should be open. They weren't open to the public until like 2000, and also the conversion of Russia. Now, does that mean away from communism back to Christianity? Because that has happened. If it meant that, fine. But there have been popes that said no, it's conversion to the Roman Catholic faith being underneath the pontiff of the pontiff of Rome, the bishop of Rome. And I believe it was John Paul who said that, and that's why the Patriarch of Moscow will not let any of the popes into Russia, and Vladimir Putin agrees, no, we're not going. Catholics can exist in Russia, they're not a persecuted people, but no, we're not going to have, you know, the Bishop of Rome, the the Patriarch of the West, which that title got dropped, which that was one of the titles that we really liked for the Bishop of Rome. Um, he's not going to step foot on the soil and do this ritual. Apparently, the ritual was done multiple times in Rome, even though it was, basically what 39 years late, 40 years late, and was not in accordance with what Lucia had said that the Virgin Mary had said. So um, the Orthodox have a problem with that. But I myself have a soft spot in my heart for Fatima or Fatima, and my favorite painting is of um, the apparition of Fatima. In fact, I actually have one Milagro de Sol or del Sol, Miracle of the Sun. Uh, and then I have another one which is complete, which is my favorite. And then I have 6 more that are incomplete because something happened there. Now, some skeptics say, oh, it's like ball lightning or something like that because the people up front had the most intense experiences. Some people saw the Holy Family. Some people saw St. James. Most saw the Virgin Mary, and it's primed to, and all these ridiculous things because it doesn't matter what saints you see. Again, if it's an apparition from uh, from the kingdom, from what we call heaven, right? Bad word, but to use, but from God, um, it doesn't matter which saint that you're seeing; they're pointing towards God all the time and Christ. But the fact that these newspapers reported this stuff, that yeah, we there is no God and we're dialectical materialists, but oh well, we did see the Virgin Mary there, and the sun did come out of orbit and shoot around colors, and it was on the exact day that these 3 children said it was going to happen. It happened at the exact time these children said it was going to happen, and what happened is exactly what they said was going to happen. Now, other people, skeptics, who I don't even know how they can call them skeptics at this point, said, well, this kind of phenomenon happens once every 5,000 years. And, the children knew that it was going to happen that day. Really illiterate peasants from the poorest parts of Portugal knew this was going to happen and it was going to be so dramatic and it was going to dry the clothes of the people there. And it was going to be such an obvious and great event that even the communists and anarchists and anti-theistic newspapers report, well, yep, we know there's no God and we're materialists and we're rationalists, but just so happened, the sun came out of orbit just like these 3 children said that the Virgin Mary told them about. And yeah, also the Virgin Mary appeared, and then after the sun shooting off various amounts of colors and swinging freely in the sky, appeared as if it was going to crash into the earth, and then it went back to normal. And we had realized that the mud that we were standing in, and the fact that we were drenched head to toe in hours worth of rain, all of our clothes are dry, and the soil was dry. So that happened. And then they were even tortured by, um, you know, government officials, um, and they didn't relent even when they they were broken up and they would hear 2 of the children screaming, and then by being burnt with irons or whatever, or threatened with them, and then quickly their mouths would be covered up, or gunshots would be shot into I think like a pig or something, and then their mouths would be covered up. So the other child thought they were tortured to death and then shot, and still they didn't relent. So something happened at Fatima. As for the secrets, I don't trust the secrets. Um, but yeah, something happened. I choose to believe that Fatima is 100% legitimate and correct, but the holy mysteries that were supposed to be delivered got screwed up. And again, the, the, the Pope of Rome defied the instructions of Holy Lady Theotokos, as well as the last living seer, Luciana. And then she said, oh, well, I guess it's fine. You open them up in 2000, 40 years later, even though we said it was a dire thing that they need to be opened up upon my death or by 61 and read to the entire world. So, and then you get the city of Kansas with theories that it was a different Lucinda, but I was saying Lucia all the time, Lucinda, which I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, that's, yeah, something happened at Fatima. And when I have daughters, you can bet one of them is going to be named Fatima, another one will be named Lourdes, and another one will be named Guadalupe. And their first names will be Maria, every single one of them. Um, and I get a lot of flack for that because Lourdes we're not allowed to accept at all. Um, but Guadalupe we can accept fully, and we accept it fully as Orthodox as well. But I will tell my parish priest what I plan to name my daughters when that point comes. And the first one will be Maria Guadalupe because I won't get in trouble for that one. All right, peace to you, and I hope that answers the your question, at least if not in full, in part.